ultimate League of Legends Iceberg. League of Legends has been one of the most popular games in the past decade and a half now, so there's bound to be things that have been forgotten.
I found this video and I really wanna watch it.
Through time, but not today. Today we're gonna be exploring the deep end and shining a light on
I always love those fucking Isaac videos. I mean Iceberg.
forgotten League of Legends content and topics. And in case if you guys don't know how icebergs work, we're gonna start at the very top and work our way down. The deeper we go, the more obscure it gets. So you guys are bound to learn something new.
I probably can get most of the shit besides some like niche beta stuff.
Or something you never heard about. Or remember something that you totally forgot about. And for this iceberg, I use a multitude of different resources, including an old Reddit post from 3 years ago, my own topics that I found very interesting, as well as my own YouTube comments. So if you see yourself in this video, congratulations, you made it. So without further ado, grab a snack, a drink, some popcorn, and get comfy, because I present to you guys the ultimate League of Legends Iceberg.
Let's see.
Better nerf Aurelia. This meme or joke was very popular.
Okay, I know this one.
In the
I even on the stream we have the equivalent of this with Briar nowadays anyway. Because anything fucking happens in this game, Briar somehow indirectly or directly ends up getting fucking nerfed.
Old days of League of Legends, and even for me, I didn't even.
But I remember this.
Better nerf Aurelia. This community joke started because the day before Aurelia was even released, she got nerfed. And I'm not even talking about like a hot fix after it was released and they're seeing the win percentage. No. Before she even got onto live service, they nerfed her. And the reason why they nerfed her was because Ryan Morello said, quote unquote, she was too annoying to play against. And that was in 2010. Imagine if you saw some of the fucking champions now. And ever since she got released, especially during the early days of League of Legends, she would get the most random nerfs. Like, Cassidy would have a 99% ban rate, Malphite and Mumu and Shen will all be pick and ban, but Aurelia.
Even Karen or old Irelia, like this guy like presented Ambessa like she's annoying. Ambessa is not annoying at all. Irelia, every iteration of her has been annoying.
It would just get a random nerf to her base stats, a random nerf to her ultimate, or a random nerf to her W. It was really just a meme that the community coined because they would just randomly nerf Aurelia. And Aurelia wasn't known as like a broken champion back then. Don't get it twisted, she was fucking annoying to play against, especially with that E. But compared to some of the champions that weren't being nerfed, it was actually too funny not to make it a joke. Vi and Jinx are sisters. If you guys aren't living under a rock, yeah, Vi and Jinx are indeed sisters, and especially because of the release of Arcane, this has made it even more apparent that they are sisters. Well, technically Vi and Jinx aren't sisters. Powder and Violet are. Blame the jungler. It's kind of incredible how many things have changed throughout history while other things have stayed the same, and this is the perfect example of things that have stayed the same. People have always say blame the motherfucking jungler. Even if it was your fault, blame the jungler.
Yeah, legit got so, like Tyler 1 got solo killed, fucking the jungler's fault, bro.
You died 1v1, blame the jungler. Your wife cheated on you, it's probably the jungler's fault. I swear to God, man. And maybe I'm very impassioned about this topic, especially because I'm a jungler myself, and I have become best friends with the fucking mute / all button, because I'm not trying to hear that shit. And unlike the support role where the only person that's flaming you is your ADC, the jungler gets flamed by everybody. Even if you make the right decisions, there's going to be one person that's going to be unhappy. And I'm not even surprised at this because accountability was never League of Legends players' strong suit.
Because he wrote me into this. Well, him over there, he wrote me into this. Well,
Ao Shin. Ao.
That's a fucking ancient one. Ao Shin. That's a fucking ancient one right there. I don't even get to watch the silly video.
Ao Shin was an unreleased champion that was developed around 2013. He was supposed to be this big ass elemental dragon with some crazy ass abilities, but for whatever reason Riot didn't end up releasing him. But they did use Ao Shin to develop and create Aurelian Soul in 2016. And for you TFT heads, you guys already know that Ao Shin was released as a unit in TFT. I forget which set it was, but it was the one with the elemental dragons. Darius and Draven are brothers. Well, duh. If you guys didn't know this, I don't even know if you're a real League of Legends player. But as a bonus fact, if you guys didn't know, Draven's old passive used to be very similar to Darius's. They both had a bleed. It was just that Draven's bleed only worked on critical strikes or when he landed his Q ability.
Thank God that never stayed with Draven, holy shit.
Hey Draven, Mama said you were adopted.
Pay to win skins. No matter how many times people want to hate
That fucking Nidalee skin and the Blitzcrank skin. The fact that to this day they exist in this game pisses me off. In case, like, most of you probably know I Blitzcrank and the Boxer Blitzcrank being like a bit pay to win. So like, this skin and this one, they are like pay to win. But a lot of people don't know about this one. This one is the fucking worst. This one, with the spear, Headhunter Nidalee, is by far the biggest pay-to-win bullshit in the game. I fucking hate that one so much.
on League of Legends. The one good thing about League of Legends is that it's free. However,
Also the Varus skin, this one, the legendary one, also pay-to-win.
over the history of League, there has been some skins that the community has deemed as pay to win. An old time and classic example would be the Mecha Kha'Zix skin, because the indicator that shows you the target is isolated was way more noticeable than in the base skin. Another example that was patched out of the game was Zombie Brand, because his walking animation would be different depending on if he was approaching an enemy. So regardless if you had vision or not, his walk animation would change, and that would give you a good indication that somebody was in that bush. Some other skins that were deemed as pay to win would be Sea Dog Yasuo, because his Q was much smaller than it appeared and people would get hit by it unexpectedly. And also for Project Ash, because her ultimate had a deceptive hitbox. Like, it looks small, but it's really wide as fuck and you would get hit by.
What is fucking shit comparison? This is elevation gap. Like, this is not Project Ash gap, this is just elevation gap. Like, so many abilities on so many characters interact the same way. This is legit just elevation, not Project Ash.
Our ultimate more often. If you want to know more about pay to win skins, check out the skill cap video in the link down below. Graves Cigar. Back in 2014 when Graves got reworked, he also got an updated splash art, and in that splash art he was smoking a cigar. However, after a month, Riot removed Graves' cigar due to concerns about the gaming ratings in different regions. And
Well, thankfully, Graves got his lung cancer back.
I'm not gonna say which country it was, but
China!
after Riot removed Graves' cigar, there was an immediate uproar from the community, coining the popular phrase, blank can have blank, but Graves can't have his cigar. However, back in 2017 when Riot released
He should have a vape. Yeah, they should release a character that just vapes. That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
past Riot blog posts about the situation, they actually brought back the cigar in certain regions, including NA. So, thanks Riot. The winter map for Summoner's Rift. Did you guys know that League of Legends used to have several seasonal events that would change the entire Summoner's Rift, including this winter map that released in 2009, as well as 2010, as well as Christmas of 2011. 3 years in a row. And then afterwards, it got retired for a while, came back in 2016, and now it's been almost 9 years without the winter map. Also, because I might as well add this in, there was also a Halloween map, but I'm pretty sure it was only released for like 1 year. And this map was actually sick as hell. I've included a link down below if you guys want to see the comparison, but
I mean, they do they do maps now with, like, you know, the seasons and shit. We have like Ionian map right now. There was like the Noxus map. Man, but it just doesn't hit the same. It feels like they just put a fucking red or pink tint over the map, changed some turrets, and that's about it. I feel like it's uninspired.
This map was actually very nice because it was very dark and it had a moodier vibe. The Arson Knight controversy. Back in spring of 2022, Riot released a new skin line called the Arson's Knight. And this wasn't any type of skin line. This was a mythic skin line. So you would think that the skin should be higher quality because you are paying way more for it. That would be the case for Pyke. However, it wouldn't be the case for Silas's skin. The community hated this skin. And to be honest, I see why. Because frankly,
I never got the memo. I think the skin was fine. I don't know why people overreacted so much about the Silas skin.
the skin doesn't even look like a 1350 skin, let alone a fucking Mythic skin. And on top of that, besides it being a very boring and lifeless skin with pretty shitty particle effects, it looks exactly like Freljord Silas. And on top of that, people have made videos comparing Freljord Silas to this skin. So that's very bad.
I don't see it.
Silas is only, I just searched it up, it was 1350 RP. But even then, the Freljord Silas skin looks nicer than this skin. And this skin is supposed to be a Mythic skin. Ash, Sejuani, and Lissandra are sisters. This feels like a super obvious one for me because I was actually here for the Freljord event when Lissandra got released, and they released the entire lore, how Ash, Sejuani, Lissandra were all sisters and how they own their own kingdoms and they're going to war against each other. So if you don't know, now you know.
I didn't.
Rivershen. Around 2015, a popular strategy was developed by a deranged man where he would take exhausting night and would literally sit in the river, taking scuttle crabs and gaking lanes on repeat. And you guys would think that this strategy is completely troll and can't work, but
yeah, it is. It is. It can work because fucking anything can work in Shrimp Boblo Hamzalo, bro.
Surprisingly, it was quite effective, and ever since then, Rivershen has lived on through players trying to imitate his style to variant results.
There was this variation of the Rivershen strategy that was just like way better, and it actually worked, and it actually made sense. It was called fucking Enchanter with Smite Top. That was basically Rivershen, but for high elo, and 10 times better.
Shyvana's rework. In 2022, Riot released a poll on which champion should be the next champion to receive a rework, and it was between Tryndamere, Shyvana, Skarner, Kog'Maw, and Nocturne. The results were that Skarner overwhelmingly got first place, but in second place, it was Shyvana. And on the same post, Riot said that Shyvana will be a strong contender, but 3 years later, and we still haven't got a Shyvana rework, so her rework has been in limbo ever since. And recently, near the end of 2024, Riot has announced that the Shyvana rework will not come until 2026. So knowing Riot, it'd probably be released in 2028. High Elo spectate feature and global chats. I received this comment on my old League of Legends video, and I decided to add.
This was such a good feature, I have no fucking idea why it got removed. Just watching random high elo games, I am sure so many people that are like lower elos here and wanna learn the game would really appreciate it. They just click a fucking button in their client and watch some random Challenger Grandmaster game.
Added to this iceberg, so thank you animals of today. But did you know that Riot Games used to have a spectate feature for high elo games that were going on at any given time? In the client, on the home screen, there would be five games going on at any given time that you could actually watch and spectate. And this was a fantastic feature because this gave you the ability to learn and improve from what other players were doing, especially in the higher elos, and you could use that in your own games, or you could just simply spectate for the entertainment value. And this feature was really helpful because not a lot of people were streaming back in the day. Streaming wasn't as popular as it is now, so it wasn't that easy to actually spectate high elo games. Also, as a bonus fact, League of Legends used to have a global chat where you could talk to everybody in the game.
Yeah,
However,
that's why we don't need a bug.
Moved when the client got updated. Same thing with the high elo spectating feature. Yorick's hat. In 2021, Riot released the brand new Yorick skin, Pentakill 3 Yorick. The skin looked kinda nice, but the main problem is that during every single promotion material, Yorick had this badass hat. But for whatever reason, they fucking removed it at the final release of the skin. You can still see
I remember
when
this.
he dances or it recalls, but other than that, you're not able to toggle it on and toggle it off like some other skins. Like, look at the first.
Bro, I hate that entire fucking argument about like clarity issues and everything. Like, it would like legit never be a problem, and I am sad that we will never get like collabs with like other games from like, you know, like Fortnite does. Imagine like a fucking Goku, like official Goku skin for Lee Sin or some bullshit. That would be such a cool thing. That would be such a cool thing. But they will never do it, sadly.
Vi skin ever.
Because they always say, oh, clarity issues, and they release fucking Mordekaiser and Jinx with like 5 different forms, and nobody has a problem identifying those.
When she had the sunglasses that she could toggle on and off. This technology has been in the game since 2013. I don't know why they didn't include it. Also, does his hat look like the Undertaker hat? Gangplank died. Back in Season 5, while Riot was releasing the Bilgewater event where they changed the entire map for ARAM, they introduced a bunch of changes, including some lore updates, but the biggest change of them all is that they killed Gangplank. And I'm not even joking, they actually killed Gangplank and disabled him from being played for the entire week. The only thing that the players had was this one message that said Gangplank is dead and has been disabled in all queues, and that was because they were trying to rework him and release the new version of Gangplank. Double IP weekend. I'm not sure how many people remember this, but I remember back in the day that Riot used to do double IP weekends, very similar to the double XP weekends that Call of Duty had. And this was fantastic because back in the day, it was very hard to earn all the
Earning a single character. It was not unusual for it to take a week or two for a single character, if not more, bro. It wasn't unusual back then. Like, sure, they did double XP weekends or IP, but it's so much easier now, 10 times easier.
champions. It costed a lot of fucking money to buy all the champions. And not only that, you had to pay for runes back in the day. So there's so much shit that you had to pay for. So I remember playing on the weekends with my friends and just grinding IP like non-stop, just so I was able to afford all the rune pages as well as the champions I wanted. And I was always curious on why they stopped doing these double IP weekend events, but according to this Reddit post 5 years ago, apparently that people were just abusing the feature by just running it down and trying to finish the game.
Now they just don't have the need to host them anymore. Unlocking characters, like I make a lot of Smurf accounts, it's legit not hard.
As quickly as
It's not hard. Besides, bro, Arena gives you so much fucking XP, you can grind so fucking fast.
possible, and especially for people who are just trying to play the game, this was obviously bad for the game. So yeah. The Hidden Deer. If you guys didn't know, ever since the release of the Summoner's Rift rework map, there's a hidden deer on the bottom of the map. You just have to go all the way to the bottom of the map and you should be able to see him. Smurf Q. Just like most competitive games,
No!
it's filled with Smurf.
Just this term, enough. This term, Smurf Q. It gives me so much PTSD. I cannot hear that term. It's like Voldemort in Harry Potter. I hear it, something breaks in my head, bro. Especially as a content creator back then. Imagine I had to do 5-roll challenger, 6-roll challenger with Smurf Q. Waiter, your cheapest shotgun and 1 shotgun shell, please. That would be me if I had to do 6-roll challenger. Smurf Q.
There are plenty of reasons why you may want a Smurf, but at the end of the day, it ends up ruining the experience for people who actually belong to that elo. So what Riot did a while back was create a system that detects if you're a Smurf or not. They basically check your performances in your recent rank games, and then they will automatically put you in this quote-unquote Smurf queue. So basically around people the same skill level as you.
Smurfs ruin this game. Smurfs ruin this elo. I'm not lying. They ruin it. It's imposter of mine when they're perma-smurfing. They say, well, aren't you smurfing? Yes, but I'm not trying. I'm not trying.
And of course, the system isn't perfect. However, it's a lot better than it was before. Free RP.
Emerald to this day is the fucking worst. Because it's filled with so many like diamond and master tier smurfs that are just like fucking around, trolling, trying to have fun, not in their main elo because they're pissed at the game.
E for art. This is a fan favorite one because even back in the day, Riot had this system and it's still going strong today. So basically, if you're missing a couple RP, I believe it was less than 100 RP, what you could do is that you could email Riot, and what they would do is that they would ask you for a drawing. It could be any type of drawing as long as it pertains to League of Legends, and then you would be able to get free RP. It could be a new skin concept, it could be a crew drawing of your favorite champion. It didn't matter. As long as you submitted your own drawing, Riot will supply you with that free RP. Malphite is a dad? Yeah, you heard that right. Malphite is a father, and his kid's name is Chip because literally, it's a chip off Malphite's body. I guess you could say he's a chip off the old block. Vladimir is Viego's uncle. Even though they're distant relatives to each other, they both descend from the same family. They even share some voice lines with each other.
Hello, Uncle. I'm surprised you haven't been torn apart.
Vladimir has one of the most interesting lores ever and just stories. And then Vladimir in game. I've got you under my skin. And then like I don't know his like fucking other like voice lines, but they're just shitty blood puns, all of them. Bro, give my man a rework, please. I hate Vladimir, but he needs a rework, like ACO ASAP. My glass is half empty! Please, man. Come on, be negative. You'll just be my type. And then there's like 20 characters that are connected to fucking Vladimir. And then that's his voice lines, man. I can't Riot Games.
Apart by an angry mob.
And I actually had no clue about this. I had no clue that Vladimir and Viego were related in any way. But I guess it makes sense because they both have white hair. Hey, maybe John is related to them too.
Hexakill.
Okay, one thing I'll say, I don't want to be like negative at the video, or maybe it's just not my not my cup. But this guy is trying so hard to be funny and failing so miserably, and it makes me kinda cringe really hard every time he does this shit.
The Hexakill
Like just cover the iceberg, man. Like that's why I clicked on the video for.
game mode is a 6v6 game mode that originally took place on the Summoner's Rift. However, it also got released on the Twitch.
Like I'm not a guy that like I hate any kind of fun, but if it's just so forced and it just feels unnatural, it's just awkward.
Twisted Tree Line as well. The game mode's exactly what you guys expect. It's like a regular game of League of Legends, however, instead of 5 people on each team, there's 6. So with 2 extra people, it caused an insane amount of chaos, because you have 2 extra people that you have.
All I remember 3v3-4. The most I remember 3v3-4 is the... Oh, he deleted it probably at this point, but there was this video because people back then you needed gold to get a skin at the end of the season. It didn't matter if it was like gold from fucking FlexQ solo duo. I don't think FlexQ didn't even exist back then. So what people did is it was really fucking easy to get gold in 3v3. Like, it was beyond easy. The mode was so susceptible to like cheese and everything. It was so fucking easy to get gold there. So Profesco made a fucking video about get easy gold to get like, you know, end of the ranked skin. And there was some cheesy 3v3 comps, and everyone did that in like silver and bronze because they all watched that video and they all just were playing the mode just for the skin. Not because they enjoyed 3v3, not because the mode was cool, just because they wanted the skin. That's why queue times in like by end of the season in like silver or bronze or like low gold in 3v3 would be like poof, instant. Like you legit queue, 5 seconds later you got a game. But after that, after like plat, dead game mode
to worry about at any given time. And more importantly, in this game mode, you were actually able to get something that was better than a Pentakill, a Hexakill. And if you want to learn more about this game mode and other game modes,
oh, he's talking about fucking Hexakill. I know. I remember playing that when I was young in like season 3, bro.
check out my YouTube video on every game mode ever. Global Damage Poppy. About 4 years ago, there was an exploit in the game where Poppy was able to hit everything on Summoner's Rift. This included champions, monsters, minions, all the enemy champions. You were able to hit them at the same time with this exploit. And the craziest thing about this is that it wasn't limited to Poppy. I remember Ornn could do this, as well as other champions like Kayn and Tarek. But it seems like Poppy was the first champion that this exploit was discovered on. Summoners. And I'm not talking about summoner spells. I'm talking about summoners. Because before League of Legends updated their lore, the original League of Legends lore was that there was a player, aka you were one of the strongest summoners in the world who were able to summon these legends into battle and to settle various
Legends
disputes across the land of Runeterra. And they were able to do battle in the fields of justice. I guess you could say it was almost like a League of Legends.
This one was good.
This guy stinks!
Varus and the Dark in Raves and White Cam Mord punches Viego, Suicidal Frog, Tiamat stacking. I know all of those.
Varus is not a Darkin. Many people in the community were confused if Varus was a Darkin or not because he misses a lot of the characteristics of a normal Darkin. Number 1, he has no healing in his kit like Kayn or Aatrox. He doesn't even have any voice lines with other Darkins. And on top of that, he doesn't even have the double A thing like Rost and Aatrox has. And there's actually an Aatrox voice line scolding him about it.
Varus, V-A-R-U-S. Your name should have an A.
Okay, but he is a Darkin, but he just has two gay dudes inside of him, like voices on an iceberg. I guess because of the theory.
And then another A. Varus.
I mean, the reason why it was a theory is because Darkins weren't really, like, you know, so established back then. Now they are.
There was a memo, Varus. There was a memo.
It could be because Varus is a half Darkin and half human, because he's two humans mixed with the Darkin, and the Darkin hasn't got full control of Varus yet because he's two people. Mordekaiser punches Viego. During the League
Bro, this was so hype when they did this.
of Legends concert for Pentakill, Mordekaiser is seen punching the shit out of Viego. I'm not sure if this is canon or not. The Wraiths and White Camp. As a jungler, I'm real excited to talk about this one. The Wraiths camp was an old jungle camp that used to exist before the chickens. And from my memory, I remember this camp doing so much fucking damage. And to be fair, all the jungle camps back in the day did a lot of fucking damage. The jungle now is comparable to fucking Winnie Hut Jr. But those Wraiths back in the day, woo! Even if you touch them a little, they could actually kill you when you're low HP.
Like any other camp back then, now camps are just health dispensers for junglers. Legit, last game, Viego escaped on 10 HP from Naafiri. He went to do golems, he finished them, he's 40% health. Imagine showing that to a season fucking like 2 player. Back when like if you weren't half HP you couldn't do a buff, bro.
Also, the White Camp wasn't included this, but I might as well lump it in here. The White Camp used to be a camp that existed right before Gromp. And the White Camp looked very similar to the Wraith Camp. Instead of it being 4 of them, it was just one, and it was a big white one. However, this only existed for a season and a half, from halfway through season 3 all the way till the end of season 4. And if you guys were wondering what existed before season 3, it was nothing. There was no camps there, which is weird because I always thought there was a camp right there. But apparently there was no camp that existed before the White Camp. The Suicidal Frog. Since the map update of Season 5, every single league match has a suicidal frog with no will to live that hurdles himself off the map before the start of every match. And the funny thing is that I do the same thing, but usually I just wait till after the game before I do it. However, it's important to add this note. Apparently, there's another theory that technically the frog never died and just transforms into Gromp every single game. But who knows? And before I forget, people in the community have been calling this frog George. So use that information as you will.
Stay here. No jumping.
She's too tanky. I don't think I need any commentary for this video, so go ahead and roll the clip.
Nah, fuck that shit, man. He's too tanky. Cannot do shit when he's so tanky. What? Fucking
Tiamat stacking. Shout out to Malumi for this suggestion. Back in old League of Legends, before Ravenous Hydra or even Tiamat Hydra existed, Tiamat used to be a standalone item that used to cost 2.3k gold. It would give you a decent amount of AD, a decent amount of health regen, but the most important thing was that cleave passive effect. However, there was one exception. There was no stacking limit on the item, so theoretically you could trigger the Tiamat multiple times on multiple opponents at the same exact time. And the best champions to use the strat on were Fiora, because her ultimate stacked it insanely well, and Shyvana, because she was able to proc it twice with her Q, and on top of that she had the power Q, she could proc it 3 times. But it's also important to note it did work on ranged champions such as Twitch, so Twitch was able to use Tiamat pretty effectively as well. Old Summoner's Rift. The Old Summoner's Rift.
Fuck, I can't click. But Mad Raven says that, what the fuck? Twisted Tree Line, yeah. Sunfire Evelyn, yeah. 1939 Koriki. I think I know this one as well.
Old Summoner's Rift. The Old Summoner's Rift map lasted from 2009 all the way until Season 5 of 2015. And this map feels like home to me. This map is the map that I played on when I was grinding League of Legends in the earlier years. I'm not gonna lie, just looking back on the map, it had a lot more character than the map that we have today. Of course, the map today is clean, more sterile, better for, you know, team fighting and shit, but I'll throw all that away for the old map because the old map had character, it felt warm, it felt cozy, man. Y'all kids will never understand. Twisted Treeline. I already covered this topic before, but I would love to talk about Twisted Treeline again because this was my shit. I used to exclusively play Twisted Treeline from
I already
level
talked
1
about
all
this.
the way
I don't
to
have
level
anything
30.
more to add
And
about
Twisted
3v3.
Treeline was one of the original maps included in League of Legends with Summoner's Rift. Twisted Treeline was a 3v3 map that was much more fun and faster paced compared to Summoner's Rift. And there was actually two versions of this map. The first one from 2009 all the way till the end of Halloween of 2012, and then the one from 2012 all the way to 2019 before they removed it. And to be honest, I loved both versions of these maps, but if I had to pick one, I'm obviously gonna pick the one that I grinded from level 1 to 30 on, the old one. But real shit, Riot Games need to bring back Twisted Treeline. I don't know how they're
No, they don't. I'm sorry, bro.
gonna do it, but bring back Twisted Treeline. Draven is set.
Bring it back so people can play it for nostalgia for like 2 or 3 days, and then nobody will ever play it again, and they will cut off the same shit. Just Q Arena, man. Please, it's just so much better.
That's dad. This surprised the fuck out of me when I first saw it because Draven seemed like the same age as Set, but apparently on Set's universe page, it says that his dad was an infamous Noxus pit fighter. And guess what Draven is? An infamous Noxus pit fighter. And on top of that, Draven is even on Set's related champions tab in the League of Legends webpage. So pretty much, Draven
It
smashed
would be popular if it had its own ranked mode. Yeah, you will never guess, but it had that.
Set's mom and then went to get the milk, but never came back with the milk. Sunfire Evelyn. Oh boy, this is a classic. So if you guys were here for this strategy, you guys are truly an OG. Back in the day when Evelyn was arguably one of the weakest champions in the game, she had an ability that made her go invisible up to 60 seconds. So essentially people created a strategy where they would literally stack Sunfires because stacking worked infinitely back then, and they would literally stand on the enemy and burn them to death without them knowing what the fuck is going on. Because she was invisible and she had Sunfire, you were literally burning the enemy team without them even knowing it. And her
It was so broken. If only those fucking pixelos back then realized you could buy a single ward, and now there is an AP character with 20 Sunfires that just instantly dies to a like random CC chain that every character back then had. It was so broken, bro. If they brought this shit back right now and made Evelyn like perma-Kha'Zix stealth, it would still be like peace.
stealth was true stealth, so she was able to get up and close with you. The only thing that would stop her is if you had an Oracle or a Pink Ward. And to be fair, this wasn't a broken strategy, but I can tell you, it was one of the most frustrating strategies to play against, especially as a new player who doesn't know what's going on. This
Yeah, versus noobs, this was fucking broken, but like in organized, like glad it got removed, but like in like actual like semi-decent elo, not even like master, but like just like even the fucking plat, it would just not work at all.
must have been the most annoying shit ever. 1939 to 1945 Corki. There was a controversy with Red Baron Corki skin because it resembles the colors of a specific superpower during World War II. I would love to say who they were, but YouTube is probably going to demonetize me if I do, so I'm not going to do it. It was the jerk.
That skin is based on World War I, not World War II, and it's not based on the Nazis. You're welcome. I just saved you 2 seconds. Jin isn't really a danger to you.
French Ramus. Yo, I don't know who the voice actor of French Ramus is, but he gotta be the funniest guy ever, cause, yo, he sounds creepy as hell.
Oui, d'accord, ok. What?
I think the top comment sums this up pretty well. French Renekton.
Renekton, you're the winner. I'm not sure where to put the microphone, but what went into making this costume? How long did it take?
I'm French. French. I'm French.
Russian moaning? I don't know how much Riot is paying these Russian voice actors, but some of these voice actors are going above and beyond. Prime example, Russian Vayne. Go ahead.
That is the type of sound you would make if you died, I can imagine.
Iron 4 accounts. Iron 4 has gotten an infamous reputation as the bottom of the bottom, but a nigga like me, I remember back in the day, the lowest rank possible was bronze 5. And I actually was bronze 5 at that point. And the new elo hell is now Iron 4. And before Riot...
Bro, I swear, even if I int-fed and fucking play like a complete spaz, I would not be able to get Iron 4. I think that's legit harder than getting Challenger, because you naturally have to be this bad. And you cannot pretend to be this bad. You have to go out of your way to be this bad. So if I tried getting Iron, the biggest problem would be not getting fucking bad.
Changed their system. I remember that there was more people on Iron 4 than they were in Challenger. So literally, it was more rare to have an Iron account than a fucking Challenger account. And on top of that, if you wanted to buy an account, it would cost you more to get an Iron account, because I don't know why people maybe want to beat up on toddlers. Aspects are basically Darkins. Aspects are some of the most powerful beings in League of Legends lore, and aspects are basically powerful spirits that provide their hosts with unimaginable power. Champions like Leona, Diana, Pantheon, Tarek. But people don't know that Darkins would be considered aspects too, because think of Aatrox and Kayn, they both have Darkins trapped inside them that provide them with power. But the main difference is that for the aspects, they provide that user with unimaginable power. For the Darkins, they were sealed away and they want to come out. They want to take control of their host. So that's the main difference between the two, but essentially the two sides of the same coin. Speaking of aspects, Leona's genocide. This was a big surprise for me because I always thought Leona was the quote-unquote good guy.
A lot of
but
stuff,
apparently I don't know much about the lore, because Leona is a genocidal maniac that wants to kill all the Lunari people. In a story released around 2021, Diana and Leona were essentially friends. Actually, they were low-key lovers at one point. But that was before they were struck by moonlight and sunlight respectively, turning them both into aspects. And try to get a competitive advantage over their competition. And this case, doping in worlds. In any sport, people will always try to get a competitive advantage over their competition. And this can be through various means. And
bro, anytime I wanna try hard, I have to pop a monster, bro. I legit have to pop a monster in order to actually focus. I might be addicted. I don't drink more monster, I don't drink daily anymore. But if I don't pop a fucking monster energy drink, I cannot focus, fully focus. Right now I am monstered up, bro. I am on Monster Ultra Gold, and you can see performance, bro. It speaks for itself.
Typically in traditional sports, the most popular way of getting that advantage is by doping.